There we go. See, the second you stop. Quick, let's go. No, thank you. So we're just walking to go get the bus to Hampi.
You can't tell what's a ruin and what's like currently being built.
Just building work.
Still the elephant's That's just a leaf.
It's a very beautiful elephant. Hey! Hey! Take a look at this. This is Josh, and I'm Erin. Follow us as we document our adventures around the world. We hope it will inform, inspire, and entertain. Come on, let's go exploring. Welcome back to India, guys. This week we have arrived in the amazing town of Hampi. It's about 8 hours directly inland from Goa and around 12 hours north of Mysore, where we were last week. It's known for the huge amount of history it has and for the beautiful landscape that history left behind. Before arriving in India, Hampi wasn't somewhere we'd heard of, but people haven't stopped recommending it to us, so we figured we couldn't miss it, and I'm so glad we didn't.
Still
Monkey's going in.
Still the elephant's That's just a leaf.
So we're at Virupaksha Temple. It's one of the main temples here. It's one of the only ones that was actually left standing, like fully intact, and it's still used as a temple of worship. Here you can like pay the elephant, and he'll bless you. Basically puts his trunk on your head.
So you see happening there?
It's not very nice, but it's a very beautiful elephant. The landscape is just amazing, isn't it? How all the boulders have fallen and like the rock formations, it's just fantastic. Just taking it all in. It's beautiful. Those views are absolutely incredible. Wow. This is definitely one of those places where you just constantly look at the view and you're like, how is this here? How are there millions and millions of massive boulders just balancing upon each other? Like, how did they get there? And how are they staying there? We're just at the top of the hill where all the temples are, just above the main temple, and the view is out of this world. It's absolutely incredible. We come up for sunset, and it's even more amazing than I could have ever imagined. Take a look at this. It's about 7 AM and the sun's just risen. There's about 50 people who've also come up to watch the sunrise. But just check out this view. It's incredible. You can just see for miles. It's just boulders after boulders and temples and ruins. It's just incredible. Hampi is my favourite place in India so far. It's taken top spot. It's just stunning.
It's wonderful because you can find places where you feel peaceful, there's no one around. What are you eating? This temple is called the Chipmunk Temple. Can you understand why? Look, there's not many chipmunks everywhere. It was built by the King of Maharashtra, Cream Abdul-Jabbar, in the late 1900s. The great admirer of chipmunks and stones, So he thought he'd combine his love of the two and make a stone temple for chipmunks.
Does that make any sense to you?
Two prakaras, and the temple is in the central area of the inner prakara, having their mahadwaras, Achyutarayapet, with a series of pillared mantapas on both sides. You're just making out words now.
We've got a good tour guide like you who knows everything. Didn't mention anything about the chipmunks on that sign. So why aren't we getting the ferry?
Because the river is cooling and refreshing. And why would I pay 20 rupees to get there when you can walk up to your knees in water?
Why indeed? We're going to go over to Hippie Island. Josh's being a cheapskate and refuses to pay for the ferry because it's a whole 20p. He's making me wade through the water. Oh, it's cold. We made it!
Well, we're not out of the woods yet.
Oh, what? Oh, take it back.
Well,
we've not yet made it.
Paying straight in their pocket. Fueling the diesel industry.
Right, whatever you say, babe. So we're now in the the royal centre. We're in the Zanana enclosure basically, and there's just loads and loads of temples, ruins. There's is there a mosque?
It's only frustrating because we're paying 1,200, which is half our daily budget. We're pretty much spending our
entire
day's budget on this.
And it also stings because Indians pay 40 rupees to get in, and we pay 600. And no one can seem to give me a reason why that is. That's what annoys me. Anyway, I'm not going to let it ruin the experience. Hampi's ruins are spread across an area of 4,100 hectares, and it has over 1,600 surviving remains. Its history is fascinating, but actually very little is certain about what happened here. The historical records of Hampi go all the way back to the 1st century, but it was at its height during the ruling of the Vijayanagara Empire in 1500 AD. And at this time was the second largest civilization after Beijing and one of the biggest trading centres in the world. In 1565 AD, the Deccan Sultanates invaded Hampi, destroying almost everything in sight and leaving behind the ruined city and what is now just a small town with an incredible landscape. Just looking at this just gives you a small idea of how massive this empire was. This was just the royal palace. All this area, this huge bit here. We're at the top of a staircase right now that would have led onto a roof or a second floor or something. It's just been totally wiped out, completely destroyed, everything. They left nothing really. To have seen it in the 1300s and the 1400s and the 1500s would have just been absolutely phenomenal, I think. To see it in its glory and in its to be one of the biggest empires in the world. That's just to try and think in your head how massive that would have been in those days, and to think what this would have looked like.
To what it is now, it's just ruins.
It's beautiful now, but then I can just only imagine.
This would have been, one of the richest areas in India.
Yeah.
To then think now it's just a tiny village. How does it have such a drastic downfall?
This is known as a small rural area now, and it is tiny. You don't even there's not even any phone signal. To think it's gone from one of the second biggest civilization on Earth to one of the smallest towns in South India probably. We could stay exploring Hampi forever, but I'm going to hold it there for this week. Join us next episode as we have a day out exploring even more of Hampi, and I show you what our daily budget looks like and just how we stick to it. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure to subscribe by hitting the link in the bottom right hand corner, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.